The stage is set, but don't you fret. The Bills and Chiefs are here, and I'm not gonna fear. And I'm running out of lyrics because it's time for the intro. Here we go. Welcome in to the First and Gold podcast. I hope this doesn't fall next to me. I don't think it's gonna. Let's do this. All right, here we go. Woo! Championship weekend is here. Now, if I started this podcast back in 2018, this would have been my 7th Chiefs preview. Just saying, not to brag. But no, here we are. This is going to be crazy. Of course, one of the biggest weekends in the entire sport. And here we are again. Same place as last year. Not the same exact opponent, but the Kansas City Chiefs are vying for another spot in the Super Bowl, trying to three-peat. But before we get into that, and of course, the NFC game as well between the Commanders and the Eagles, we have our bold prediction. And seriously, guys, thank you so much for commenting this entire season. Whenever we started, shouting out bold predictions, bold takes, just everybody with the support. If you haven't already, we'd much appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button as well. It just means so much to us and, just interacting with you guys in general. So once again, we had this on last week's video. You guys commented down your bold predictions for divisional round. And the winner this time with probably one of our best predictions yet, it's RJC commented, bold prediction, Commanders upset Lions, which happened, with the total points going over 70. Now, if you guys don't know betting that often, I don't think a betting line ever goes over 52, 53 ever as the total points. So even predict something going over 70 is insane. The final score was 45-31, so obviously that was over 70 points. So just a knock-on perfect prediction there for It's RJC. So shout out. If you guys want to be shouted out in next week's video, comment down your bold prediction in the comment section for Championship Sunday. So thank you guys once again for all the comments. But here we go. Let's get into it. We're going to save the Chiefs and Bills second because the first game on Sunday will be Commanders-Eagles. Woo! So here we go. I really thought starting this season I'd be talking about maybe 49ers-Lions, something of that sort. But, this is why we love the NFL. The Eagles went out this season and did not continue what they had last year when they hit a huge funk. They were losing. The vibes were terrible. But no, they got themselves back to a third NFC Championship appearance in 7 seasons. And who's coming to town? The Washington Commanders, of all teams. A hated rival, a team that hasn't been in this spot in 33 years. And they're here to make some noise. So this is going to be an extremely interesting watch. Al and I, 100% both rooting for the Commanders. I think a lot of people are rooting for Washington because, I'm just being honest. Philly is not that likable. I like some of their players and stuff, and I respect that they're a good team. But, they have their reasons to not be liked, of course. But with that being said, let's get into the actual game predictions itself because as much as I want the Commanders to win this game, and I'll give you the reasons in a second why they definitely could win this game, I just think overall I'm picking the Eagles, and there's multiple factors to this. One, I think that, Jaden Daniels played an okay game in Philly in primetime earlier this season. Now, of course, he's improved throughout the season, so it's not going to be the same exact thing. However, that environment in Philly in a championship atmosphere is going to be really tough to play in. I think that the Eagles players are so confident at this point in the fact that they have gone out there and proved that last season was just a funk and they are truly a great team once again. They're going to have the motivation on their side. Now, I think that the Eagles, in terms of their players themselves, beat the Commanders in so many different facets. They beat them in their running game. They beat them in their wide receiver talent, although Terry McLaurin's obviously great. They beat them in tight end talent. Jaden Daniels, I will say, has had a better season, even as a rookie, than Jalen Hurts. But at the end of the day, Jalen Hurts still does just enough in order to manage his team. So as long as he limits his turnovers against his Commanders defense, which isn't very good, he will be fine. The Eagles obviously pretty much have a better defense in all facets, secondary, linebackers, and the most important part, both lines the Eagles beat the Commanders in, offensive line and defensive line. So on paper, the Eagles should have almost every advantage in the book. However, You flip it to the Commanders' side. And this is kind of like the Chiefs effect. Now, I'm not going to liken, the Commanders and Jayden Daniels to the current day Chiefs just yet, because that would be crazy. However, if you look back to when the Chiefs played the Eagles in the Super Bowl, in Super Bowl 57, a lot of the same conversations were being had, which was, look, the Eagles, overall, depth-wise, talent, they have the better team. But at the end of the day, it might not matter, because when you have an X factor like Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, they can come out and do anything they want. And I almost feel the same way when it comes to Jayden Daniels in this Commanders team. He is extremely special. Now, the odds are completely stacked against him for all the other reasons I just said, plus the fact that only one rookie starting quarterback has made the Super Bowl, which, of course, is Dan Marino. So it's going to be tough. Not denying that at all. And I would not be shocked if the Commanders just didn't look great in this game. However, if there's one guy to do it right now, I think it's the guy who is constantly now proven, not only in the regular season, of course, but now in 2 playoff games, road playoff games, mind you, that he just treats it like every other game. He is so cool, calm, collected, and confident, and he does not overthink it. He limits his turnovers himself. He makes big-time throws and big-time moments. So if the Commanders are going to end up winning this game, it's going to be getting that pass rush to Jalen Hurts and then having Jayden Daniels perform like special Jayden Daniels can definitely do. As much as I want the Commanders to win, and it would be awesome if they did, and, Jayden Daniels, all props to you, I'm going to still end up picking the Eagles to make it to a Super Bowl once again, which is shocking because I really didn't think they were going to go back to the Super Bowl, and we'll see. But I'm picking the Eagles to win this game. I'm going to go 24-19 in a mid-scoring affair where the Eagles win. There you go. Okay, that's out of the way. Time for a game that I'm going to be thinking about every second for the rest of the week until it's on. Chiefs-Bills. Since Josh Allen has become an elite quarterback, this will be the 4th time the Chiefs and Bills have met up in the playoffs. The 2nd time now that they met up in the championship game. Both times will be in Arrowhead. But the Bills, man, this is their first time in the championship game since 2020. Josh Allen was finally able to escape the divisional round after a 3-year drought. They played phenomenally, limited their turnovers, outplayed the Ravens, and now they're here seeking revenge. And that's what scares me. Because, look, the last 2 times they played, they were also seeking revenge for the time the Chiefs beat them in the AFC Championship game. However, this year is different. Josh Allen's an MVP candidate, and the fact that scares me the most about the Bills this year is their limiting of turnovers and their offensive line play. Josh Allen has not felt the need to be Superman this season. Now, of course, he's had Superman-like plays just because he's extremely talented and he's going to make them, of course. But what I mean by that is that in the past, Josh Allen was very, very much like Brett Favre in that you take his, 70-yard bomb touchdowns, but also he would have multiple games per season with like 3 turnovers in that game. This year, however, by far his best season in terms of turnovers. He's looked perfect in the playoffs so far. And even with that, even in the past against the Chiefs, Josh Allen has played very well against the Chiefs in the playoffs, regardless. And it's actually been their defense that has screwed it up more often than not, or their special teams. So with that being said, in the past, the Chiefs maybe have played a B-plus game against the Bills in the playoffs and were just able to squeak it out. This is going to be their toughest task yet against the Bills in the playoffs ever. Because if the Chiefs don't play an A game, specifically on offense, it's going to look a lot like it did in the regular season. Now, I know what people are saying. Oh, that was week 11. The Chiefs didn't care as much about that game as the Bills. It's going to be different this time, and I hope it is. However, the Bills proved something very important in that game back in week 11. And I mentioned this back then when I recapped this game. It was 23-21, 4th and 2. What the old Bills would have always done 99 times out of 100 is take the field goal, play it safe, and let Patrick Mahomes most likely march down the field at the end of the game and break their hearts and win the game with a touchdown. However, this time they said, you know what? What do we have to lose? These guys have been beating us up all these years. We're at home. Let's take it into our best player's hands. Josh Allen, go for it. Have the balls to do it on 4th and 2, and have Josh Allen take it in himself, run over everybody, get the touchdown, win by 9 in that game. And I don't think, even though I don't love Sean McDermott as a coach, and I think his clock management issues are bad sometimes, I don't think they're going to screw it up again. So the Chiefs need to play a near perfect game in order to win it. The Chiefs have to show a lot more on offense than they did last week. Look, if they truly are saving plays, which at this point I talked about in the last episode, I think that's kind of a myth. I feel like this probably is just who they are at the end of the day. But if they are truly saving some plays, you got to pull out all the stops. You're not saving anything for the Super Bowl because you can't take a game like this for granted. This is by far the most difficult game in the Chiefs franchise. Not named any games we played against Tom Brady in the playoffs. I said it. This is extremely important. If we make it to the Super Bowl, I am confident that this game is going to be much harder than whoever we face in the Super Bowl. So with that being said, I think it's truly a coin flip game. If there's a time for the Bills to finally get over the hump and beat Mahomes, I think this is the time. However, I'm a Chiefs fan. I'm not going to doubt Patrick Mahomes until proven otherwise. They're the more experienced team. They've been in these situations before. They still have a great defense. Their offensive line is doing enough, and this is a much easier matchup than what their offensive line had a week ago against the Texans. I think the receivers will be more involved. Kelsey's always great in the playoffs. And of course, we got 2 of the best coaches in the NFL, Andy Reid, Steve Spagnuolo. I got to ride with my guys in the Chiefs at home and be confident in their ability to see the future and realize, hey, we can take on a rival right now. Tell them, nope, it's not your time yet. We're trying to chase history. We're going for a three-peat. This is extremely, extremely nerve-wracking, but important. I'm going to be extremely nervous. I'm nervous. But I'm going to pick the Chiefs to win this game. Now, for people thinking it's going to be a rematch of 2021 Bills-Chiefs, who are putting up a ton of points, no, that's not going to happen. However, I think it's only fitting for the Chiefs finally putting up over 30 points for the first time this season. So let's pick the Chiefs to win this game on just a heartbreaking field goal against the Bills. Hoping Harrison Butker is nice and healthy and hits this one. I'm going to go a last-second field goal to win the game, 31-30 in Kansas City, and they advance to Patrick Mahomes' 5th Super Bowl appearance, 3rd in a row. Let's hope, man. Let's hope, because I'm going to be a nervous wreck. This is an insane matchup, but let's hope for the best. There you go. I hope next time I talk to you guys, the Chiefs are back in the Super Bowl. Here we go. All right, there you go. That was your championship preview. It's going to be a fun weekend. Once again, got to remind you guys, comment down below your bold predictions. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well. Much appreciated. And then also follow us on TikTok and Instagram at First and Gold. But there you go. Everybody, enjoy your championship Sunday. Go Chiefs, and goodbye.